of lemonade, a big one.
Excuse me, sir, but you're not allowed to eat your own food in here.
Oh, I didn't know that. And tea straws!
Yes, it's the Benny Hill Show with guest stars Professor Marvo.
Rubber balloons, cried an old man in the street. But no one cared about his rubber balloons, for a lady had just fainted at his feet. The doctor in the crowd said, I know what to do. Whenever a young lady swoons, you must rub her shoulders and cheeks, rub her hands, rub her feet. And the old man cried out, rubber balloons, oh rubber balloons. I want somebody buy my rubber balloons.
And the man himself, Benny Hill.
Now to the side of Catfish Lake there lives a big guy known as Jake. Why, he's so tough he leaves the shells on when he swallows clams. Why, he's so hard and mean and cruel he darns his socks with steel wool. And so stupid he thinks it comes from hydraulic rams. He got a neighbor called Leroy and he sure does hate this boy because he's a smartass. Got a quick brain in his head. Why, he could sell a nudist clothes or ice cream to Eskimos. Reckon he could even sell the Pope a double bed. Jake's the boss willing genie when young Leroy ambles in. Says ain't been this year place since I was a kid. I see they've done up the saloon, but I sure do miss that old spittoon. And Jake looks up and says, boy, you always did. There's rubber blue in El Paso. Very soon there's gonna be a showdown. Men, forget your guns and lassos. And women folk get out of town. Leroy says, why is he such a louse? Last week I was in his house, he entertained me royally. I had quite a groove. And by the side of my plate of ham, I seen a napkin with a monogram. Well, I thought it was until I saw it move. Now, I ain't gonna say he's mean, but outside his house I seen a man with a bill for 5 days on the run. Jake says, look, I shoot to kill. Would you swear that was a man with a bill? He said, well, either that or a duck with a Stetson on. Jake said, you pushed my grandpa off the roof. He said, you know that ain't the truth. He just slipped into the rain barrel with my cousin Beth. And for hours, Annette and Carol tried to sort of lift him out of the barrel. Well, that old boy was ecstasy to death. Rubber blue in El Paso. Very soon there's gonna be a showdown. Men, forget your guns and lassos. And women folk get out of town. Leroy says you ought to take more care when you go out hunting bear. You shot my prize pig and watched him die. Jake says to show my heart's real big, I'm gonna replace your pig. He says, okay, you'll find the sow out in the sty. He says, how about Jenny Lark? She claims that one night in the dark she was raped by your son Joe. She swears it's true. He said if it was dark, then how did she know that it was my son Joe? He says because she had to show him what to do. Leroy puts down his beer, he says, I'm getting out of here. And he wanders off into the night so black. Then they see Jake depart, and they know that in their heart, only one of them boys is a-coming back. Jake was buried out of town, just 6 feet underground, and they couldn't pin his murder on a soul, 'cause he was tying up a knot in his shoelace when he was shot, and the sheriff never found
the bullet hole.
Time for us to have a real high-ho down, throw away your guns and lassos. This is a real nice peaceful time. Thank you kindly. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Bless you. Jolly nice to be with you once again. And now we have a treat for sports fans everywhere. Well, we've got an action-packed program for you this afternoon. We've got sailing from Hayling, we've got sledding from Reading, shooting from Tooting, and karting from On the football front, we'll be looking at the midfield players, at the defenders, and of course at the strikers. In particular, we'll be looking at the defending pair of Burnleys, and then we're going to take a good look at this striking pair of Bristols. Bristol Cities. Bristol City Rovers. We're starting off with cycling, and cycling, it's the Tour de Force, which comes to you today from Barnsley.
It's just as we expected. Eddie Mux, the Cuban-Irish whirlwind, has left the pack and looks like breaking his own world record. Just look at that man go! And here we have the true professional. Cool, calm, confident, completely unruffled. Putting back some of the liquid lost in perspiration and, they'll have to go some to catch Eddie Mux up. Up, Eddie Mux? He really is phenomenally extremely good. There's just no stopping this man.
Mind that down! Well, here are the results of the all-men's inter-services nude leapfrog competition. They are Army 99, Air Force 96, Navy 2, with leading seaman Ounce-Treader being disqualified. Well, now it's time for the Ladies' Bowls tournament, which comes today from Wilchester.
Mrs. Cartwright is way out in front, and the competition is very keen. These ladies are determined that she won't win again this year.
It's time now for the athletics from Dimpton, and for the first time, you're going to be seeing mixed track events.
This is Frida Dobbs with the Todbridge Harriers, and round she goes. It's a lovely sight, is that not? And it's a good one, it's a good one. But here comes Hamish Hallmark with the Sterling Academicals, and I think he's going to show them a thing or two today. I'm pretty sure of it, and they seem to enjoy the audience there, don't they? Round he goes, and they seem to be having a little contretemps with one or two members of the audience there, sitting in the front row, getting a good view. And around he goes, and he lets go, and it's the long jump, and here comes Jerry Lucas, and it's not her best. It's not her best at all. No. But I think that Sid Tidworth here will pick up a point or two. Here he comes now.
Wasn't it? Well, now it's time for fishing, for angling, and for the angling we are going over to Grumble on the Green, where to Grumble on the Green, where Harry Hooker is waiting to tell us all about the fishing. Over to you, happy Harry Hooker.
As you join us, the news is that Colonel Nutter, who won last year's competition, is not having a very good day. He just doesn't seem to have any luck at all.
Well, it's over now for to Frampton, and for news of the show jumping, here is Teddy Tripp.
Where I'm hoping to speak to one of Britain's top show jumpers, Mrs. Biscuit.
Hello!
Mrs. Biscuit, I know there are a lot of horse lovers watching today.
I'm sure there are some very horse lovers watching today. They shouldn't talk so much, should they? Don't do that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Could you tell us about yourself?
Well, yes, I could. You see, I'm afraid recently I've got into a rather disgusting habit.
What's that?
This one I'm wearing. I just use it for cleaning out the stables, that's all.
And your husband?
He's just gone for a pony and trap. He doesn't ride quite so often now, owing to the boil, you know. Poor thing, yes.
Well, of course, you love it at any time.
Oh, any time, yes, I love it any time. Yes.
How long has it been?
Well, it's been different lengths at different times, of course. You see. I mean, how long has what been?
Since you started show jumping.
Oh, I started when I was 17. That'd be about 8 years ago. Yes, easy, yes. But of course, I've got a lovely husband and, of course, lovely darling Harold.
There's no jealousy.
Oh, none whatsoever, no, sweet. Just so long as he gets his oats regular, that's all he worries about.
I was talking about your husband.
So was I. I'm happy to say.
How many hours a day do you ride?
Well, I should think about 6 hours a day as a rule, yes. They say when I ride, I look like part of the horse. They never say which part, of course.
But really, all those hours each day, bouncing up and down in the saddle, does indeed give you a headache?
No, quite the reverse. Gives the horse a headache. I know what you were thinking, you naughty television. Don't do that. Oh, I'm sorry.
And it's darling Harold who'll be going with you to the Olympics.
Yes, in Canada. Yes, I'm so glad, yes.
How do you think you'll get on?
Well, I expect my husband will give me a bunker. He frequently does, you know, and aims to get on to the...
in the events?
Yes, well, in any event, I suppose. Yes, in any event, we will put our best hoof forward, eh?
Over the years, you must have won an awful lot of trophies.
I've won a lot of awful trophies, I have really, yes. I've won 24 medals, 12 statuettes, and a shield inscribed to the fastest mare in Surrey.
Have you ever won a loving cup?
No, I've never been in for that sort of competition. I didn't know they gave cups for it, do they? I'm sure I should win one if I went in for one.
I'm sure our viewers would love to see darling Harold. Do you think perhaps you could coax him
No,
out?
I'm sorry, because at the moment, you see, I'm just about to give him his tranquilizing pill, you see. He hasn't been terribly well just lately, you know.
Will he swallow that?
Oh, he'll swallow anything, yes. No, the thing is, you see, I have to give him this by a very, very devious method, you see. What I do, you see, I get this tube here, you see, I place the pill there, and the other tube, the end of the tube in his mouth, you see, and I blow, you see, that's how he takes the pill. I'll show you, look. I'm afraid darling Harold blew first.
Won't that have an effect on your,
No, it'll have no effect on me whatsoever. No, whatsoever, no, it's happened before. Well, I can't stand here talking. I have to look after the stables, and the work just keeps piling up in there.
in that case, I'll say goodbye.
Yes, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll try and get darling Harold just to say bye-bye for you. Come along, darling Harold. No, leave Enoch alone. Never mind about Margaret. Or Tony. There, yes, I know. Don't do that. There's a good one. Say good night, darling Harold. Come along. Let's see. Isn't that lovely? Thank you so much. Well, it's over now. For tennis at Wilmington. We hope we don't have any incidents like we did last year. You may remember that the Vicar of St. Arthur's last year sat in the front row with a newly starched collar, cut his head off. We didn't get anything like that. So it's, we're going to have a look at the competition, which is for the New Frontiers Bra Cup. And in particular, we'll be taking a jolly good look at the women's doubles.
Where the Roberts sisters, Terry and Libby, are taking on the Clunk sisters, Frida and Ada. And with 8 o'clock about to leave the net to congratulate her opponents, we'll say goodbye.
Well, dear, I'm afraid we have to say goodbye to you because we won't have time, unfortunately, for the wrestling. I know you enjoy so much. But do tune in again next week and we'll show you some more Worlds of Sport. Good evening, everybody. How do you do? We would like to introduce ourselves to you. People call me Luke because I'm not so hot.
And people call me Tinker because I think a lot.
If you're interested, if you have the time, we would like to sing you a little nursery rhyme. Like Jack and Jill went up the hill, or hickory dickory dock.
And Mary had a little lamb and the doctor died of shock. Hello, Baba Black Sheep, have you any wool?
What the heck you think that's on me? Back, you silly fool. We'll turn the black wool into garters for the girls of whom we're fond, and they'll wear them in memory of those who've passed beyond. Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow?
It grows very well because I've got a brand new hoe. I'll put manure on me rhubarb, manure on me flour.
You put manure on your rhubarb, we have cream on ours. They didn't accompany the fiddle, so everybody sings.
I wonder did it know that part of his brother was in the strings.
And then the cow jumped over the moon, at least that's what we're told.
Expect it was because the farmer's hands were cold.
Or was she broken-hearted 'cause he'd felt her teats all year and never had the thoughtfulness to say, I love you, dear.
Oh, Mary had her this, but she swallowed it one day.
And now she's taking Beecham's pills to pass the time away. We also do conundrums to tell you all the truth.
What goes trickle, trickle?
A piddler on the roof. Now the time has come for us to go, I fear. So we'll wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous year. Ladies and gentlemen, 50 years ago tonight, Paul Finch, the famous short-sighted poet, typed his last poem on a machine which had been repaired by an equally short-sighted repairman, and he put the F where the P should be, and he put the P where the F should be. However, as it is his last poem, I thought tonight you might like to hear it as it was originally written. Here it is then, Patricia and Feta, the final poem of Paul Finch. I think you'll like it. Patricia was just 15 when she fell in love with feet. He was fishing in the river. with galoshes on his feet. He speaks first. Is the water deep here? About 4 inches she reflies. He foot his put in front of him and sank up to his eyes. As he struggled to the surface, covered from head to foot in muck, she said, "That's punny. It only comes halfway up my duck." She noticed he was peeling paint. So she griffed him by the arm. He said, "Are you rich?" She said, "No, I peed myself." With poo grown on my palm. Years passed by, and handsome feet leapt town, and so did Fritty Fat. She joined the Metropolitan Police Force. Her pokes were proud of that. One day, as she was facing up and down, she heard a strange cry in the street. Someone was flaying a piddle. In the gutter, there stood Feet. She could tell by the look upon his face he was peeling broken-hearted. He said, "I've leapt my wipe, you know." She said, "I heard you'd gone." "Fleas, fleas, oh, go away, fleas," he begged. She answered him with smiles. He said, "I've been in prison." She said, "I know, I've seen your piles." He said, "At least I had pooed in there, and over my head a roop. But if I'd have stayed much longer with all those men, I'd have become a raving foop." She held his hand as they were wed at the chapel op St. Paul's. They honeymooned in Niagara, and she held him by the paw. They now have 4 children, and a life for them is great. You just can't predict where it will point. That pickle, pinger, or pate. A nudist from Notting Hill Gate was pushed into a pond by his mate, and a tiddler swam by, and he said with a sigh, "Will you look what they're using for bait?" Here, I got out of a sick bed to come here tonight.
Yeah.
The wife's got flu. Here, how do you make antifreeze?
I don't know. How do you make antifreeze?
I don't knickers. Here, I say, do you know how to make an elephant fly?
No.
Well, you start with a zipper 4 feet long. Here, darling, do you know what virgins eat for breakfast?
No.
Please, can I see your own?
I hear your mother-in-law's broke a leg.
Don't make me laugh. I've got a split lip, ain't I?
Only good thing to come from Leeds is footballers and loose women.
Here, my wife comes from Leeds.
Oh, what position does she play?
Are you afraid of the big bad wolf?
No.
It's funny, the other 2 little pigs were.
Well, I've had a shilling for every woman I made love to.
What would you do? Buy a packet of crisps? Why did you take up the piano?
Well, you see, the beer kept falling off me violin. So I'm all right here, mate. This one's trisexual.
Bisexual.
No, trisexual. She'd try anything.
I was going to put my uncle's death in the obituary column of the local paper, but I couldn't afford it. It was 50p an inch, and he's over 6 foot tall.
Here. How How do buffaloes make love?
I don't know. My husband's a mason.
This is my wife.
Hello. What happened to that stupid-looking red-headed scrubber you used to knock about with?
I dyed my hair.
Darling, have a peanut.
No thanks. I don't want to be under obligation.
You won't be under obligation for a peanut. It's not like a bar of chocolate. Here. Goldilocks. Why don't you try Bordeaux? It's jolly good, you know. It don't grow hair, but it shrinks your head so that what you've got fits better. Here, I say, why don't you let your eyebrows grow long and then you can comb them back? Like that. Oh, it's smooth. Yeah, it feels just like my wife's backside.
Sure it does.
Taking tranquilizers and pet pills together. Yeah, it makes you go out looking for a bird, but if you don't find one, you couldn't care less.
Hey, look what I found.
Hey, that's mine, that is.
Can you prove it's yours?
Hey, it's got my name inside.
Your name inside.
Hey,
What is your name?
Sterling Silver. Thank you kindly.